A time slip is a rare phenomenon wherein an individual, or even less common, individuals, are suddenly transported to a different period of time than their own by unknown means. What follows is four truly amazing time slip experiences. A woman known only as Angela claims as a teenager in August of the mid-1970s, her and a friend set out on a hike from Beacon Edge through a densely forested area that eventually looks out over the city of Penrith, Cumbria. Angela said, "The path that usually takes about 15 minutes to traverse has many abrupt turns, so much so that upon reaching a new section and looking back, the part you were just on would appear to vanish." On this particular day, however, her and her friend felt a noticeable heaviness in the atmosphere, an eeriness they had never felt on their many hikes up the same trail. Upon turning a corner, they were both shocked to see an old-fashioned stone cottage, straight from the medieval times. Only problem was, there was never a cottage at that location, but sure enough, smoke was rising from the chimney as if someone was home. As the girls stared at each other in amazement, the door began to open and the girls fled. After returning to the same spot months later, the cottage was gone, and Angela's friend would refuse to speak about the experience. A man named Roger was visiting Pembroke Castle in Wales with his family. While climbing the tower, Roger was a few flights ahead of his family. Upon reaching the top of the tower, he would look out at the river and saw that it was packed with medieval-style boats. Thinking it must be part of some sort of festival, he told his family when they met back up, but upon attempting to get a look for themselves, all the boats had vanished. Alice Pollock was a psychic who visited Leeds Castle in Kent, near London, to perform psychometry, a practice of touching objects to gain information from them. Upon handling a few items, Alice was transported back in time. The castle became bare and cold, and there was now a fire burning. She also saw a tall woman pacing back and forth, as if lost in deep thought. Then, just as suddenly, she was back in her own timeline. She would discover through her research that she had been in the prison room of Joan of Navarre. Joan was the stepmother of Henry V and was imprisoned after being falsely accused of plotting against the king. In July of 1996, a man named Frank was shopping with his wife Carol in Liverpool city centre. Carol went to buy a copy of Irvine Welsh's Trainspotting at Dillon's Bookshop on Bold Street, while Frank went to purchase a CD at HMV on Ranelagh Street. Upon his return to Bold Street, Frank noticed the street was now cobbled where it hadn't been before, and the people on the street around him were wearing clothes from the 1950s. while approaching where Dylan's bookshop should have been. Instead, there was a large store named Cripps that had women's handbags and shoes in a display window. Then, Frank noticed a young woman dressed in 90s style clothing entering Cripps with a confused look on her face, when suddenly everything returned back to 1996. He asked the woman if she had saw what he did, and she said yes, clearly terrified. He would also later find out that there was, in fact, a woman's outfitters called Cripps at that location in the 1950s. Thank you everyone for watching. I truly appreciate everyone that takes the time to check these stories out. Definitely look for more on this topic in the near future. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy the content, and I'll talk to you soon.